my beautiful people, and welcome back to My Life in Heels. This is a space where we talk honestly about identity, confidence, femininity, growth, and everything that comes with becoming who we really are. And today I want to talk about something that becomes really important once you start feeling more like yourself. Not just becoming her, but protecting her. Sometimes it comes from learning who you let get access to your energy. Who gets your softness? Who gets your vulnerability? Who gets your peace? Who gets your time? And who doesn't? Because not everybody who wants access to you deserves it. There comes a point in this journey where you realise something important. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your particular journey. Not everyone deserves your explanations. Not everyone deserves your emotional labour. And not everyone deserves access to the version of you that you fought so hard to feel comfortable as. That lesson, it took me longer to learn it than I'd really like to admit. Because when you're learning to embrace your femininity, you often start by desperately wanting other people to understand it too, to validate you, to approve of you, to accept you, to desire you. But eventually, you learn that peace is more valuable than approval. And being wanted is not the same thing as being respected. In the last episode, we talked about the moment you stopped overthinking things and just started to become yourself. That quiet shift. The moment where your femininity becomes natural instead of being performed. But once that confidence starts growing, something else happens. You become more aware of what disrupts it. Certain people, certain spaces, certain relationships. You start noticing what drains you and what protects you. And that awareness changes everything. Because confidence isn't just learning how to show up as yourself. It's learning how to protect that version of you once she arrives. I used to think I needed everyone to understand me. It felt like if I could just explain myself better, if I could just say the right words, if I could be patient enough, then people would start to get it. They'd understand why femininity mattered so much to me, why expressing myself in this way felt so important, why this wasn't just about clothes or heels or makeup. And if they understood me, I'd maybe feel more secure. But honestly, that mindset exhausted me because I was spending so much energy trying to be understood. And I wasn't protecting myself at all. I was handing emotional access to people who'd done nothing to deserve it. People who were curious but not kind. People who wanted explanations but not connection. And that gets heavy pretty fast. And I think this is something a lot of us experience, especially when femininity and self-expression are involved. Sometimes people don't approach it because they genuinely care. Sometimes they approach it because they're fascinated, because they're projecting, because they want fantasy, not reality, because they want access to you for their own gratification. And that can be confusing, because at first attention can feel like validation, especially if you've spent years wondering if you're desirable, accepted, or seen. You think, maybe this means I'm enough. Maybe this means I'm attractive. Maybe this means I'm finally being recognised. But attention without respect is not acceptance. And learning that distinction can be really powerful. There's a huge difference between meeting a guy who only wants to meet in private for sex and somebody who genuinely wants to spend time with you. Someone who'll give you the girlfriend experience, who will bring you flowers, who makes those small gestures that really mean so much. You need to decide, are you settling for attention, or are you taking control and getting what you really deserve? There was one moment that really shifted things for me. Someone asked me a very personal question about my private life, about how I express myself and what that means for me. And normally I would have answered, even if it made me feel uncomfortable, even if it felt invasive, because I didn't want to seem rude. I didn't want to create any tension. But that day, I just smiled and said, I actually keep that part of my life private. And that was it. No apology, no over-explaining, and no guilt. Just a boundary. Simple, calm, and clear. And walking away from that moment, I felt in control. Because for the first time, I realised protecting myself wasn't selfish. In fact, it's necessary. Before, I thought boundaries meant rejection. I thought saying no made me difficult. I thought protecting my peace made me seem cold. I thought I had to be endlessly available just to be accepted. I thought attention meant value. But now I understand boundaries are self-respect. Peace is not something people hand to you. It's something you choose. And sometimes choosing your peace means disappointing someone else. Sometimes it means stepping back. Sometimes it means silence. Sometimes it means keeping your distance. Sometimes it means being selective. And sometimes it means saying, no, that's not what I want. And that's fine. One of the most powerful things I've learned is to use softness with standards. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can be warm and still say no. You can be loving and still protect yourself. You can be feminine without always being available. That one matters because femininity is so often treated like an invitation, as if softness means giving access, as if beauty means entitlement, as if being desired means you owe something back. But you don't. Confidence isn't just how you walk into a room. It's knowing how to walk away from one. And that's a game changer. Because real confidence isn't proving your worth. It's recognizing it. If you're learning this right now, here's what helps. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Not everyone is asking questions because they care. Some people ask because they want access. They're probably just nosy. Some because they want control. And some because they simply feel entitled. You do not owe anyone unlimited explanations. Clarity is more than enough. So learn the difference between attention and genuine care. Someone wanting you doesn't automatically mean that they value you. So ask yourself, do they respect me? Do they listen to me? Do they care about my comfort? Or do they only care what I represent to them? That answer will tell you everything. So learn to say no without having to write a full essay. No is a complete sentence. So is, that doesn't work for me. So is, I'm not comfortable with that. So is, that's too personal. Confidence often sounds quieter than people expect. So protect your private joy. Not everything beautiful needs to be shared. Some parts of your femininity, your rituals, your healing, your softness can belong just to you. Private joy is powerful. Not everything you do needs an audience. So trust your discomfort. If something feels off, listen. If something makes you feel belittled instead of respected, listen. If attention feels flattering but also unsettling, listen. Discomfort is often wisdom arriving early. So trust yourself. So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. Who in your life gives you peace? Who in your life feels like you need to put on a performance? And who makes you feel safe so you can be yourself? And who only seems interested in accessing you for their benefit and not yours? Who sees you as a person and who sees you as a projection. Because your piece is trying to tell you something. So listen to it. If you've been giving too much of yourself, trying too hard, saying yes when you should be saying no, I understand. Especially when we're learning to embrace ourselves. It's easy to believe that acceptance can be earned through availability. That if you wanted, you should feel grateful. That if somebody desires you, you should allow it. But no, you are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to decide who gets close to you and who doesn't. So remember, desire doesn't create entitlement. Your boundaries matter. Always. There was a version of you that accepted crumbs because they were afraid of being alone, who thought attention meant acceptance, who thought access meant connection, who confused being wanted with being valued. And now, you're learning discernment. You're learning standards. You're learning that protecting yourself is part of your journey too. Have you ever had a penny drop moment where you've realised someone no longer deserved access to you? And what changed? Or maybe you've had to learn the difference between being wanted and being respected. That's a big lesson to learn. So let's all talk about it, because these conversations matter. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, for healing, for choosing yourself. And remember, you are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be loving. You are allowed to be feminine. But you're also allowed to protect yourself. And these things can all exist together. You do not need to shrink just to make other people comfortable. You do not need to over-explain just to get respect. You do not need to give everyone access just to prove your worth. And you do not owe anyone your body, your energy, or your emotional availability just because they want it. These things have to be earned. So protect your peace, protect your joy, and most importantly, protect yourself. It's your life and it's your choice. So until next time, keep walking proud in your gorgeous heels.